Okay.
Okay, good morning, everybody. The chair will call this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners to order on April 23rd, 2026. First item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of April 9th. Get a motion to approve. Second. Okay, any changes to the minutes? Hearing all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Vote unanimous. Item number 2 is I've gotten email, which I was very happy to receive from Luke Hydock from Lee, asking the county commissioners to proclaim the month of May is for ALS. So ALS is, as most folks know, is commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's a progressive and fatal neurological degenerative disease, and which a person's brain lost connection to their muscles, slowly reducing a person's ability to walk, eat, talk, and eventually breathe. We've had several of our own patients across the street at Riverside who've over the course of many years who have suffered from Lou Gehrig's or ALS, and Luke had contacted me and asked me to have the Board of Commissioners proclaim this declare May as ALS Awareness Month. And I told them I would bring that to you folks' attention. So if you would like to make a motion to proclaim the month of May, seconded, okay. And the vote is unanimous, right? That we do that. I want to thank Luke for reaching out to us. And the commissioners this morning have signed a proclamation. And the chair is going to order the seal of Strafford County to be placed upon the proclamation and returned to Luke from Lee. So thanks again, Luke, for getting in touch with us. Alrighty. Item number 3 is to approve a Child Advocacy Center grant extension.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just briefly by way of explanation, this grant extension request is coming for the funding that was approved 2 grant cycles back in the state funding budget. This was the Commissioner McGuire's may remember, this was state funding money that was awarded to us very quickly. We had to scramble a little bit to figure out what we were going to use it for.
Right.
We have identified a need as hiring a contracted clinician to see the children from the Child Advocacy Center that specialize in trauma treatment. And so that's what the money's been earmarked for. We've been unable to spend that down and find a contracted clinician because we haven't had appropriate space identified. Since this funding was granted, we have partnered with the Rockingham County Child Advocacy Center. They have space that's appropriate for a clinician, which is very exciting. And so the extension for this grant funding is to have it go through June of 2027. It was set to expire in June of 2026. So that will allow us to use this funding to pay for that contracted clinician through the Granite State Children's Alliance. And then they have additional funding through. Yes.
Okay, go ahead. You go.
They have additional funding through the Granite State Children's Alliance in order to fund that clinician ongoing after that.
So they'll be able to, so we're going to be sharing that resource, I'm assuming.
We are going to be sharing it. It's going to be primarily Strafford County children that are going to be seen there, but we're kind of couching it as the Seacoast behavioral health clinician for the Child Advocacy Center.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, it's a very
is there a special need that they have in terms of office space? Okay. I know sometimes, with these programs with children, you have to have child-friendly office space. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, and we did have some of the clinicians. So there's already a a division of the Granite State Children's Alliance that has a clinician in 5 child advocacy centers already. So they had come out to see our space. I initially was kind of hoping to have them in-house here,
Right.
understandably. They had some concerns about, one, the hours their clinicians work. A lot of clinicians work late afternoons and evenings because they're trying to accommodate families after school. So they had some concerns about that being in the courthouse by themselves, what that would entail and needs in terms of security, oversight, that kind of a thing. And also just kind of the optics of getting clinical services here in the courthouse. So the space in Rockingham County is a bit more friendly. It's at the community campus. There are many other community services in that space already.
Okay. The, we might have you in a few weeks, to talk about space requirements, now and in the future. We've got a number of things happening in the courthouse, that the administrative power has to advise us on, in executive session. We've got a bunch of negotiations going on with different entities, so maybe there's some chance for us to be able to realign how we're doing business here at some point. It won't happen right away, but
Absolutely.
you know, we'll have you in to talk about that.
Absolutely. And that's always an option. I think the hope is this is a temporary fix so that kids can get seen sooner rather than later.
Right.
But it is not forever, certainly.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Chair will entertain a motion then to approve the grant extension for the CAC.
So moved.
Second. Any questions? No, you guys are good?
Yes.
All right, all those in favor of adoption, indicate by saying aye on the motion. Those opposed, the vote's unanimous.
I do have 2 forms. One is for Commissioner Levitt, that's the certificate of authority, and then just something for you to sign, Chairman. I can pass those over. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll get them right back to you, okay?
I appreciate
We'll
that.
do that in executive session. You can vote on it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Wow.
All right. Okay, now we got a list of upcoming events. We've got a resident council, fun yard sale on Saturday and Sunday, the 25th and 26th at the nursing home. And again, we've got this first pitch. They're hosted by the Hampshire Fisher Cats at the Delta Dental Stadium, coming up too, where Memorial Fund gets a portion of those proceeds.
$5 for every ticket.
$5 for every ticket. Okay, great. Okay, old and new business. We have any old and new business to discuss? We do. Okay. I just got one piece of old business. We're still waiting on a closeout report on the warming center. I had spoken to those folks over there, and they're supposed to get that to us within a week. And then also I've been in contact with Hutter Construction and the city of Dover regarding the permit procedure for the warming shelter. Right now, everything seems to be on schedule, and I spoke with the principal at Hutter. Right now, they're trying to line up their subs, get their subs lined up for the project. They still got some bidding they're doing, internal bidding they're doing. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, because I was asked a couple of questions by some city councilors from Somersworth and Dover, and I let them know that. So I just wanted to put it in the record. Okay, any other old and new business? No. Okay. Morning, Susan. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. We got questions and comments from the public related to the agenda. Do you have anything you want to talk
Am I
about?
permission to go off agenda?
Sure.
Okay, so, a comment was made at the last city council meeting, because I brought up, the question was, with regard to where the warming shelter, stood. And I relayed back to them that, we were gonna be breaking ground, or you guys are gonna be breaking ground soon.
Right.
And, I also said that we, or you guys, shouldn't say we, I'm sorry,
All right.
I'm used to
Okay.
other position. That you had applied for 2 grants.
Correct.
And information came back that perhaps you guys have already received notification that you did get a grant.
No.
Okay, can you put that on the record? Because it was made by the mayor of Rochester.
Mr. Chairman, perhaps there's a confusion.
Confusion regarding
We-
grants.
Clean it up, please.
Okay, it's very simple. We didn't get the construction grants. We haven't heard on the construction grants for the building. Okay? So we've applied in two places for that.
Mhm.
The rural health transition program and through Senator Sheen's office. So those are for construction grants. We did get an additional grant regarding operating money.
And that's totally different. That's
Different.
something that we
That's-
get on a yearly basis or
No, this was a new
the
one.
different one.
This was a new. Yeah, right, if you want.
We had $100,000 from the state, which we got. Beyond that, we applied in cooperation
Yeah,
with
cap.
CAP. And we split, it was supposed to be 500,000. They didn't quite have that. Came out to 400 and something. And we split that with CAP. Our share of that was $144,000. So that is, we did get that grant.
But that has to be for operating expenses, and I'm assuming that that will help for the operating
Correct.
expenses of the upcoming
That's
season.
No,
Well,
no,
last
it
season.
has to
It
be
has to be-
last
It
season.
has to be last season's.
Okay.
So what will happen is there will be as soon as we get done reconciling the books, okay? There will be a surplus in that account, okay, in the warming center account. However, depending on the nature of when the building is available, the new building, there may be a time lag there. Right now, we're being told that hopefully they can get it done by November 15th. Okay, but there may be a lag, it may be December 1st. There's a lot of
I understand.
yeah, there's a lot of subs. There are a lot of subcontractors, and Commissioner Levitt will tell you this, that getting transformers from Eversource, doing the things that you need to get.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I work for builders.
Yeah,
Myself, so
right.
I
There you go.
understand it. I
Right.
understand it.
Well, that's, so when we'll have a meeting with the mayors and city managers shortly to, as soon as we have the reconciliation done. So that they will know what we have available to us.
So specifically, can you tell me again where that grant money? came from?
CDBG,
Okay,
Community Development Block Grant.
for that 144.
That was our capacity, it was the county's capacity to put towards CDBG, which, by the way, the cap portion of this is helping, Rochester
With that new project.
with, CAP's new project up there. There used to be the Strafford County Homeless Center. I guess that was the title of it, but CAP took it over. So she's using that money in that facility. So that all goes to offset your welfare costs.
Okay, so there's what everybody knows as the Gaffney home. Okay, in Rochester, and that's up and running. And then I just purchased the home next to that. So there's a third facility.
Yeah, there's one up by it was up by, if I remember correctly, it's up by, I visited it once. Up beyond Lowe's, I think it's across the street from Lowe's, across the way. There's,
I know, yeah, I know which one you're talking
you know what I'm
about.
talking about, it's on next to,
Yeah.
it's right next to the highway or close, it butts up to some highway.
It's on
land.
Washington.
Yeah, yeah,
And, yeah,
so they.
I always forget that they have them.
Yeah, that's the one that I was told that they were gonna use the funds for, but they're free to use the funds wherever they see the need throughout their organization,
So
so.
it's an odd
Yeah,
distribution
right,
because normally you can't spend any money before governor and council approve it. In this case, the governor and council approved it, but let us go back to December. So naturally, we use those funds first. So that the funds that were provided by Rochester and Dover would be the last funds spent, and we haven't spent those funds.
right, and one other thing is that we have not received any money, just so you'll know, as a councilman in Rochester, we have not received any money from any of the municipalities regarding its construction.
Oh, we haven't built.
We haven't built them, the contractor hasn't built them, so, we have a meeting with the city managers, administrative meeting with the city managers, as to how they want to handle their share of this. And what would happen is if we did get the grant, that may be reimbursed, hopefully. So, but that's all that's a process. It's just that we haven't got there yet. That's,
Plus, ma'am watching
yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned it.
know.
That's why I mentioned it.
it. So, I feel compelled that I need to correct the record from this past Tuesday's city council meeting. And I wanna make sure that I get it right, because I don't like putting crap out there that's wrong.
Right.
So if I'm gonna take off the transcript of today's meeting and
Sure.
write something up, but I would like somebody, Ray, could you just kind of go through it just to make sure that I get this right?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah, so it's only, it'll be just 3 or 4 sentences long, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna be very long, but I don't like misinformation out there.
No,
And-
happy
and-
to.
No, I agree. I don't want any misinformation.
We don't- nobody needs
Nobody
that.
does. Nobody does.
Well, there was also another piece of information, I was at a meeting last night, and there was something in the newspaper about how you all were working with Wentworth Douglas, on a proposal. And this person felt that the newspaper article really stated that you don't have a deal for that. So can you just clarify for the record so that I can go back and say, no, this is the real story?
We're still in the process of negotiation, but we're very confident that the deal with Wentworth will occur. Okay,
We're exchanging
Exchanging-
proposals with
right.
lawyers.
with
You
lawyers,
know, and it's
I
the
see.
dotting of the i's and the crossing of the t's.
right,
Although we have a lease, that, you know, that had been approved by the delegation. This is just cleaning that up.
right.
At
So
least from the delegation when.
Or
it was approved many years ago
many years
Okay,
ago.
okay. I was
For
gonna say, it wasn't recent.
No, for the use of Hyder.
for the use of height.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of reinstituting that lease and cleaning up a couple of things.
Right,
But we're
Right.
working on.
we're just working on back and forth. And as soon as that,
Soon as our attorneys,
and their attorneys,
they drafted something, our attorneys looked at it, made some changes, it's been sent back to
It goes
them.
back and forth, I
Yeah.
get it.
right,
The other thing is you alluded to the fact that you're working on, and I'm assuming that you're working on maybe some potential new tenants here at the courthouse for what's going to be vacated.
we're talking about it's not so much new tenants, it's about looking at our present operations to see if we can make room for, like, for instance, the psychologist that we just talked about with Rockingham. They don't have the facility here to do it, but if probate moves out, as an example, we might be able to do something with the building to put the CAC closer down to the MAG, as an example. So that when people coming into the building, they'll be closer. They're just logistical changes. We just don't know whether, but that's not gonna happen till late, very late in the year. We're gonna go through an election by then. You don't know what's gonna happen, you know. They're gonna be moving out of here, out of that space.
Well, yes, the other thing is that they're subject to construction issues also.
Right.
You know, with the Rochester court
Yeah.
and when I discussed things with them, it was a little wishy-washy. In the sense that not only did the building have to be completed, but
Right,
then they
they
have
have
the
to move everything
schedule to
out.
move.
And
Yeah,
especially with
and they have a
probate.
lot of stuff.
Probate has all
All those
paper
records.
records. They have paper records. They have never, ever digitized anything. Now, hopefully in the new facility, the state will spend some money on digitizing those records. So they don't have to keep so much paper. However, Ray would tell you, they're required to keep paper copy either somewhere available. We used to use a place called Iron Mountain. Okay, Iron Mountain in New Hampshire, where all the paperwork goes to be, you know, to be saved in perpetuity, even through nuclear blast. So, how all that gets played out by the courts is out of our hands at this point. But they are gonna move, so when that move takes place, we just need to talk about what we're gonna be doing. One of the things that I take great pride in is that I'm always trying to think of where we're headed. Where we're headed as an organization, that's what the commission has spent most of the time talking about. In terms of what do you see happening in the future and trying to get out ahead of some of those changes, like for instance, sharing this psychologist with Rockingham County. Maybe they stay in Rockingham County, we just don't know yet.
Well,
But it's down the road,
I
it's down the road.
I worked for a child psychologist and psychiatrist for a short stint and dealt with children.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere of them coming into that can be very traumatic.
Right,
And so my concern would be having it here, having to go through security, that type of stuff. You never know what triggers in their little brains. So
Well, they know.
my home county is Rockingham County, so
Yeah.
you know,
well, I've been thinking about
we
other
ship a
places.
lot of stuff. And
Right,
growing up, I was between the two counties with a lot of stuff, so I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's another great resource for children that have trauma.
well, I think we all agree with that. So we try to make it as user friendly as possible, which is some of the other things that we're gonna have to talk about. As we move forward, but it's a ways away, it's down the road a little bit.
But you need
So-
to plan.
Yeah, you got a plan, at least have some ideas,
Doesn't happen tomorrow.
no, that's for sure. Okay, you got anything else, any other questions, Susan? We'll get ready to work on that outline for you, okay?
Yes.
Actually, am I working on it or are you working on it?
On it.
Okay, you work on it and
Just
send it to me.
have them edit it for you.
Yeah, I'll look at it promptly and we can get it right back to you.
I'll just email it to, I'm not sure I have your email address, so I'll.
His name is Janet's, it's just R. Bauer,
Oh, okay,
so the rest is the same.
that's fine.
And you can just email it to both of us just in case, and then,
I just, the way it came across and
Well, I
I
think there
hadn't
was
seen
some,
anything on the agendas, you hadn't made any announcements, and you're very good at doing that. So it just struck me as odd, and that's why I just asked the
Yeah,
question
yeah,
to
well,
clarify.
I think the mayor might have been a little confused about which grant we have, because we haven't had a meeting yet. We haven't had a meeting with them to update them.
Yeah.
But they will be brought in soon, and then they'll be all on the same page.
I did receive a phone call, Mr. Chairman, from, the city manager in Somersworth, and he was hoping the meeting, could be when he returns from London. He's going on vacation with his family, so he's asking that it be after May
After May
4th.
4th, yeah, okay. Well, we'll make sure, we'll accommodate the city manager in Somersworth.
Well, and I think that timing is good.
Yeah, it's gonna be, but by then we should have.
We'll have everything finalized.
Yeah, so that'll work.
If you think about it, it's only about 3 weeks after the
Right.
close of their operation, so a little less than 3 weeks. That's not an unreasonable timeframe.
No,
That's
and
pretty quick, actually.
in that report, I've asked for, I've asked for. Not only the nights of stay, cost associated with, medical treatment, on the city of Somersworth part, but also residency. So, based on what I've seen in the preliminary reports in January and in February, the vast majority were from Rochester. So, for what that's worth. So, we're gonna be taking your problems from Rochester to Dover pretty soon. They'll be in the county courthouse. Okay. You all set, Susan? So we can. I just wanna let you know that. I thought you'd want to know that as a counselor. Yeah. It's about 55-60% from Rochester. Yeah. At least that's what they say they're from. You'll never know.
I don't know, because we don't get very much information as a city councilor from our city manager with regards to that, and I'm just
The
gonna keep my
welfare.
mouth shut before I get into trouble over
Yeah,
that.
okay. All right, Chair will move to item 7, which is a motion to go into non-public for purposes of discussing personnel issues and contract negotiations.
So moved.
Seconded? Okay, that requires a roll call. Commissioner Feliciano?
Aye.
All right, Commissioner Levitt, myself, yes. Okay, the commission will retire in a non-public session. Thank you all.